A very good evening, everyone. Now, if a pool tournament can have a dark horse, the dark horse can very easily be one of the Tanzanian players, little known because he doesn't travel a lot, doesn't participate in international competitions a lot, but yes, he is a class player. He's called Kiande. He has just defeated Kelvin Fikoti, one of the tournament favorites in the round of last 16, racing to 7 by 7 frames to 2, quite classily. In the round of last 16 game, which I was streaming on Break and Finish live Facebook, he's taking on another of the tournament favorites with the scores tied at 1-1 between Kiande of Tanzania and CUEMASTERS taking on Caesar of Uganda and Team Danger in a race to 7 once again for a place in the first live semi-finals. It is 1-1. There is one match that is yet to be done, played to completion in the round of last 16. Another player perhaps from Tanzania taking on a player from Kenya. That must be David Mbodhi Bike. John Chalo, no Fahad Osman from Kenya is involved and is yet to take on another player from CUEMASTERS whose name I am yet to ascertain. While Moses Mafia is also involved in the round of last 8 against his teammate, that is Saif Hamad. Maybe the Tanzanian players are turning this into something of a CUEMASTERS affair. Saif Hamad, Moses Mafia, Kiande, and another player whose name I like to forget so much. 4 of them in the round of last 16. That's last 8. Very impressive. With one of few players who are not enjoying any home advantage. Perhaps on the verge of leading for the first time in the match. As long as black is sunk, it is Caesar leading by 2 frames to 1. I am only doing a stream of this match on YouTube. I'm made to learn that the Facebook stream is on Samson Kiboga's Sam's Pool TZ channel. 2-1 between Caesar and Kiande, racing to 7 for a place in the first life semi-finals. As Roy Simon is asking where Jerry is. Jerry is in, I think, Cape Town, where there is a cup. He was supposed to participate in this one. I don't know exactly why he wasn't able. For Aiden Joseph, a plane ticket, I made to understand, was booked, but he reached the airport and he was told that his passport was full and wasn't eligible anymore for being stamped by the authorities. Mwenye mchana lazima apoje. Mwambie hapa alisi. Mchana. Mchana. TD Matos in the building. Really should be taking some good news for the second creation. After this match, I shall be having one more stream. It could involve one of these players and then maybe another CUEMASTERS player, maybe Mafia, maybe Saif, maybe BK, maybe John Chalo. Actually, it is John Chalo taking on David Mbudi in an all-Kenyan affair. The Kenyans are making the loudest noise in the competition, which is so far becoming one of their best outings. I can see 3 of them involved at this stage. That is Chalo and BK and Fahad. That is very impressive, especially compared to other outings that they have gotten before. And in the men's and ladies category as well, this is turning into their best ever outing. Actually, Tanzania is not a very bad hunting ground for the Kenyans. There was another comp that happened in Morogoro last year where they took the team event and came second in the singles when one of their own, Henry Mwangi, lost in the final to Abdallah Hussein. Dr. Spencer, you're asking who eliminated the Hazel. It is Abed Dow, relatively convincingly by 7 frames to 1. Daraf Kokli, thank you for watching and reminding us to like the video. A very necessary reminder, it is that one. Please do like the video, and I think it is very likable. About 3/4 of the screen are occupied by the table bed. That means you can watch the shot very, very well and a very clear scoreboard, even though there isn't very good lighting at the venue. Trying to manipulate it to be as good as it can, as good as Kiande can win frame number 3. He has the role playing yellow to the corner pocket by rail drive to the top right. It is portable because he does know how to put them balls. Manipulating the cue ball is something different altogether. He may have to play it with big power, have the cue ball bounce off the right cushion and then move leftwards, so that he could have sight of the black, try to put it to the corner pocket, bottom right where there is scissors red. That is the shot. This is the shot. Kiande, Kiande, Kiande. He is becoming something of a tournament's dark horse. So far, of all of them, 4 frames, and all of them a few dozen shots, the one he has just played is the best of them all, especially for a little known player. Having all this class, now equalizing against one of the tournament favorites. There we go. Kiande 2 and Caesar 2. Race to 7. are made to learn by the master of ceremonies of the match between Masters taking on Fahad of the Mchana team, and Kenya is in the round of last 16, just as is the match between the two Kenyans, that is David and is on the verge of gaining the lead against, yes, another of the tournament favorites. Again, with one visit of the table. Again, Kiande putting black 3 frames to 2. The Tanzanian leads against the Ugandan. And yes, you're right to ask Mr. Ronald that where has this guy been? His bad news. Yes, he is bad news. He's a member of the CUEMASTERS international team. CUEMASTERS is the biggest club in Tanzania. They ensured that they have the majority of the best players in Tanzania, then some other players coming from outside Tanzania. 3 Zambians, that is Mofia, Kelvin and Raid. And then a few Tanzanians, including Kiande. That's enough alone to show you that Kiande is class. He leads by 3 frames to 2, racing to 7. The scratch on the break by Caesar doesn't make it any better for Kiande. Another opportunity to extend his lead. 5 frames down, Kiande having won 3 of them, winning the first frame and the last 2. Caesar winning the 2 frames in between the 3, and then breaking with a foul. Kiande on a dry break, on an open table and a free shot. The table remains open. Of course, Kiande seems to be interested more in the reds. 6 of them they are in number. The yellows are as well positioned relatively well. Kiande must finish the reds on the table, or else most likely lose the frame, as perhaps you will fancy that Caesar will be making the clearance instead. Big miss. Also very unexpected, especially given how good he has been playing, not just in this match, but also the tournament altogether. Not only does he miss the ball, he leaves the table open. Caesar being alert, he nominates the yellows and plays them. And in court steals the yellows away from... No, sorry, Kiande had already closed the table playing the reds. I want to beg your pardon. The commentator must be in class. There comes Caesar losing his cue ball there. The shot was a little difficult. Perhaps he should have gone for precision and not power. Going for power, it was always risky, given the little cut between white and yellow for the resting position of his cue ball after the shot, and retaliating by playing a safety. Waswa James is asking if Hazard is eliminated, and the answer is yes, but everybody still is involved in the competition because it is double life. Today we are playing only the first life. We are playing it all the way up to the final. Tomorrow we shall play the second life all the way up to the final. We shall also play tomorrow the quarterfinals in the team event. Thereafter, on Monday, we shall play the first life final, the second life final in the men's and ladies category, and then the team semis as well as final. Frame number 6 has been played at the lowest level of them all that have been played so far. And the man of the moment, Kiande, Tanzanian, playing for CUEMASTERS International, leading against Caesar Chandega, the Ugandan, by 3 frames to 2, racing to 7 for a place in the first life semi-final. Other matches, 2 of them still in the round of last 16, only trying to make it to the quarterfinal. The other quarterfinal ongoing is between Moses Mofia and Saif Hamad. We're at CUEMASTERS in Arusha, in Tanzania, where Caesar is trying to come one better than he did last time around when he reached the final and lost it to Zambia's Royd Kabwe. That time round in Dar es Salaam, now having just yellow to pot. Cue ball will be natural for black, portable to the center pocket right. Because cue ball moves leftwards, bounces off the cushion a little. The pot of the black to the right side pocket will give the Scorpion an equalizing frame for the second time in the match, making full advantage of a miss by Kiande. The Scorpion aims for the black and sinks it in and equalizes. After 6 frames, it is Caesar 3 and Kiande 3, race to 7. by 4 frames to 3. Now Caesar leads. The match has been that tight. Either one player leading with 1 frame ever since it started, or the scores have been level. The one unforced error by Kiande in frame number 6. The reason is trailing and not leading. The one big miss for Caesar, trying to utilize his usual relative superior pattern compared to his opponents to try and see him through against an opponent he has never faced off before. There goes Kiande. I'm not so certain he is happy. He is potted. Nonetheless, still has a recovery shot. The yellow which is leftwards of them, all portable to the center pocket left, playing the cue ball into red, creating more space in between the yellows. Hopefully for him, trying to mount a comeback. Trying to finish a frame that would be his equalizer for another time in the match. There he goes with intention to put one of the yellows that are piled around the 2 reds and black to the center pocket right. He must not only pot, cue ball must be in his favor. Neither does he pot, nor does he manipulate the cue ball well. He misses again. Maybe his pattern is starting to evade him. Maybe in the mind. In a frame. Another chance to take another lead in another frame. Manipulate, ensuring it doesn't move a distance big away from the ball he just played, also ensuring it doesn't put the cue ball. You can now put the one unread such that if he plays by top spin, the cue ball will be played into the yellow, which is touching black there by splitting both black, but with less power than he would have fancied. That is a shot that should have been played with way more power. By playing it with precision and no power, the risk was always imminent. Now needs an even bigger way to try and recover. Pot, play the cue ball off to cushions, try to play it into the red, touching the black. The shot ends up in a miss. Again, another chance by Kiande. We have action in the round of last 16. Therefore, I'm likely to stream 2 more matches after this. At one point, I thought all matches happening were in the round of last 8. Thereby thinking I have one more semi-final, then got to have a break. But it's 2 more matches after this. Keep it locked to Break and Finish Live Facebook as well as Peter Chove Live YouTube. There is another scratch by Kiande. He's not anywhere playing as good as he was at the start of the match, not anywhere near as good as he played against Kelvin earlier today. But then I will not certainly say that Caesar is playing that well either, at least in this ongoing frame. He needs a big shot. The red, which is near the center pocket right, has to be portable to the corner pocket top right with backspin, drawing the cue ball backwards. He wants to put the red near black to the center pocket left. Therefore, the cue ball must move towards. Well. This frame, whoever between Caesar and Kiande will be winning it will be remembered mostly for the misses and unforced errors of the 2 players rather than their brilliances. Kiande having a sharp cut of the yellow. Off red, not off red. He needed to play it off red to ensure it was potting. Nonetheless, it's a shot that favors him more than his opponent because Caesar has sight of only one of the reds, the one so close to black. Of course, he will want to play it off the black with the intention to try and put it to the corner pocket bottom right. Oops, he was having sight of yet another. This is the beneficiary of a safety in which he has played a yellow close to the pocket for Kiande. The chance to put it is a red drive which he has just demonstrated with his hands. The intention is to play it to the corner pocket now, top left of the screen. Cue ball bouncing off the cushion, just like that, maintaining white for the second yellow to the center pocket left. Another of Kiande's very good clearances. You may think he will want to put both yellow and black to the same center pocket left. With the pot, cue ball moving around the black, just like that. It has moved a little farther than he wanted. Another mistake. Yes, he has sight of the black, but he cannot put it in a normal shot. It can only be potted by bank. Better still, he could play another safety. He goes for safety. I don't think it is safe enough.
Okay, the one I need one table is a challenge between Moses. I'm not here for CUEMASTERS. I think I need table 2. See you. I'm married table 2. I'm selling table 2. We have some affairs here.
You now get to feel that Caesar is playing one snooker for one more time in the frame. It will not be favorable for Kiande whether or not he finds the black. As well, as long as he doesn't pot it, you get a feeling that Caesar will most likely be potting either of the reds first. Most likely finish the frame. Kiande wants to find the black and pot off the cushion with power. It is a foul. So big a foul, he even puts Caesar's red. But not the first time we have been seeing Caesar with a free shot in the frame. He's playing as though it is not a free shot. He wants to put both red and black to the same corner pocket bottom right. Again he misses, but will be lucky this time round. He has nodded his head in disbelief at the low level at which he himself particularly has played this frame. Nonetheless, he looks to be on the verge of winning with some work still to be done. Cue ball is tricky. Putting the black to the corner pocket left or right. Leaves risky cue ball to put to the opposite corner pocket. The white is safe, the black is in. The Scorpion extends his lead. The frame is 1, Caesar 5, and Kiande 3.
Julie, that was a yellow number 2. Julie, table number 2. Jose, from Kenya, please. That's the way it's here. Table number 2. Caesar is leading now 5-3. Looking forward to 2 points. Okay, it is 6-4 on table 5 and on table number 8. Save. Jockey Master and about 30. Atari.
bakoze ki kino ki hello sera kibanga byogambye tebakoze batya okubira omugambe balina okuga setwakukanye emmeeza zikoma sawa 12 maiko omukubira omwegali bala agambye empiira gyekokoza kwongera sente abudu mugambe gembazini zibanyongerese siwakola ebisente segedde ate ovudde wanikwera ngaoli wali tetuyinza kubeera mwemuti aye tuyinza kwesambuza maiko yigala baza okufuna sente yatamu maiko omukubira omukekali bageyate abantu bakyalagala kuzanya mukubira essimu omugambe watomenya sente abudu zijamira agijjeko.
Now, if this attempt by Caesar to finish the Reds ends in success, he will be making a second consecutive international comp semi-final this time round with 2 lives intact. In fact, if he wins this match, it is an actual quarter-final. A semi-final of life 1 in terms of count of the tournament overall is an actual quarter-final. Red to the corner pocket top left, red to the bottom right corner pocket will give him pretty. That's a cue ball that was played with arrogance. Other than caution, he has sight of the red. I'm not so certain sight enough to pot it, because you need to see it almost full, almost entirely, almost wholesomely for you to pot with ease. He still can pot it, but there is no certainty. He's dragging the cue ball. A little curve round the black. Yes, he does. The curve was a little bigger than necessary, and yes, Kiande recovers. The frame is still alive for Kiande. The match is still alive for Kiande. He needs to win 3 frames in a row, including this, which may come as a gift from Caesar, which Kiande, if he wins, will need to win 2 more, including 1, which will be a 5th, and then a decider. And I'm only saying that with the assumption that he's winning this ongoing frame, because he has been demonstrating that he's more than good enough to. He's so good with his cushion drives. Like you can see, he does what he wants with the cushion drive, with power, drawing the cue ball backwards. He's almost certain that he will always be on target. Wanting to put now yellow to the center pocket left, there is space. He can put it in, leaving the cue ball just around that same area. He's clearly finishing the frame. He's clearly on the verge of punishing Caesar for one shot that was played with not too much purpose, getting himself snookered partially before playing the last red and failing to put it with some kind of skill. It is now Kiande's chance, having chance to play black, which I believe he'll want to put to the corner pocket top right of the screen. White will always be safe as long as he rolls. He plays with power. He really has potting power. He wins the frame, pulls one back. Caesar 6, Kiande 5, race to 7. Round of last 8, quarterfinals, first life. Men's singles event, CUEMASTERS International Championship, second edition, with the defending champion left in one life, with one life in the competition, Zambia's Royd Kabwe. The losing finalist in the first edition is leading in this match by 6 frames to 5, taking on a little known but very efficient Kiande. Caesar now having an open frame, an open table after a fair break in which he was able to pot one yellow ball. You do fancy he will want to go for the yellows. They are all in space. They are all portable. They are all relatively close to either a pocket or in the middle of the table, where the same ball can be potted to any pocket on the table.
Thank you, Caesar. Thank you, Caesar. Make sure.
For whatever reason, Caesar has chosen to play the reds instead. They are clearly the harder to finish. You do get a feeling he chose so, perhaps because with the only yellow he was potting with ease, the cue ball was being played into either a red or a yellow, which could affect the position of the yellows, perhaps hampering his pattern. He's going for the relatively difficult balls. They are finishable, but yes, more difficult than the yellows. He can vindicate himself for the decision taken if only he can win the frame by break and finish. Moving the cue ball towards the bottom end of the table, where there are 3 reds close to cue ball, other 2 near the center pocket right. He will take all the time in the world to manipulate one clearance that will perhaps put him into the money. Last time out that he participated in an international competition was only 7 days ago. Still fresh in the memory of pool fans across the continent. Yes, the Billiards Cafe Classic 2025 edition was won by this guy in a one-sided final against South Africa's Jerry. Now not playing to his maximum best so far in the competition, but yes, good enough to make the semi-finals in life number 1, which shall be the case if he finishes this Reds frame. Even the Ugandan player that doesn't support him all of the time in hazard is sitting around the table. I've heard him for the first time saying the words, "Make sure the Scorpion." And the Scorpion is seemingly making sure, wanting to roll the last red to the corner pocket bottom right, cue ball bouncing off the cushion to move in space such that he puts even the black to the same corner pocket. There he goes. The rest is a formality. By break and finish in the first quarter final. Last tournament's losing final, Caesar Chandega defeats a hard-fighting Kiande by 7 frames to 5. Thank you for watching. Once again, see you in the next one.
And now with the time, allow now power. Power playing. Anacheza Salim Biano wa CUEMASTERS International. Salim, power please come to the fire. Power, tuko na matano Salim, tuko na matano size. Power.